Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful. When the world's on fire. Good God. We can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning. Today is December 4th. We just had the, oh man, I don't even remember what this number is called, guys. I feel so unprepared. You're so unprepared, Seth. Oh my gosh. ADP non-farm employment change. We just had it. And it looks like, what was the number? What was the number? Ooh, that's really bad. 67K versus 137K? How is that? How is that even a thing? Oh my. Well, let me tell you what. When I was coming in today, we do have some more news today too, by the way. We got Canada doing its statement thing, and we got ISM non-manufacturing PMI, final services PMI. These are important numbers, but this number is really bad. And then the other thing that we got going on is the trade thing is still having trouble, but the reports are that they are quote unquote inching closer to a deal. So I don't know. I don't think that necessarily means that a deal is likely. I think that just means that both sides want a deal. But the problem is not that they don't want a deal. The problem is that they are just so far apart that it'd be very difficult for them to get it. We could potentially buy here if we get a good spot, but it's a little tough. I guess I should show you the charts here really quick. Okay, Treasuries up big yesterday, coming back a little bit. E-mini quite liking having a little bit of a reprieve. So this is a place where I would think that we would see a little bit of a breather for equities. But now the numbers are coming out and the numbers are bad. Well, man, guys. Man, oh man. Lucas. ADP employment 156 in the middle of consensus. Michael's already done for the day. Yeah, Harlequin, you're right. This is the one before the open. I knew it was coming, but I always just ignore it. Oh, really? Well, I could maybe take that one right there at 27. It's a little too obvious. That is a little too obvious. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. And of course. Now, why is this pulling it? Donald Trump appears to be speaking. I'm looking at Twitter, and he's saying stuff. President Trump says it was a successful NATO meeting. Says it will discuss issues like trade. Okay. Okay, Phil. There's a big offer there at 27.5. They gonna hit it? Oh. Well, I'm seeing a lot of activity here. But the 5-year at 8 3/4 doesn't want to go. Doesn't want to go. Discussions with China are going very well. We'll see what happens. Yeah, he's still talking. I made a mistake here. Okay, 5-year tick up finally. Well, we may get lucky. No. Desk. Let me out. And now they're pulling there at 27. Really? Okay. Let's let it settle here for a second because it's not. I don't like the way it's sticking there. I do not like the way it's sticking there. No, sir. Okay. How are you guys doing over here? I didn't start. You know what? I'm so dumb. I forgot to start our little robot friend. That ADP employment data was the lowest print in a decade, according to Zero Hedge. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, there we go. As long as it's not actually close, all the news and tweets is good for us. Yes, it will be sad when the deal is finalized. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Michael XC says, yeah, 67K sounds a bit lame.
Yes.
Says, I don't know, man. I don't appreciate the volatility coming out of the blue.
Exactly. See, it's not the volatility. I mean, volatility is good. You have a piece of news, and people make changes off of it, and that's all fine and well.
XC says, well, for sure, make sure your TP and SL is server side.
What is an issue is when volatility can come out of nowhere and you can't expect it. Then that means that a reliable trade is much more likely to fail. It's not fun. It's not fun, guys. It's kind of interesting that they're building this range here at 26F. I'm gonna eat food. I have toaster pastries that I didn't finish.
Mason Chan says, I was in a long at 230 this morning, but it went nowhere for a long time. Went off or more often than not, so I scratched lol. Michael XC says, turn up the bot volume.
Thank you. I still had the volume down from yesterday.
Michael XC says, oh, maybe it's cause you're eating.
No. It was this. I had the
Lucas says at Mason Chan, well, you played it the right way. You should close before news.
Yeah. You were probably down in this area, huh? And you're saying it was off for more than bid. That probably means that you were right here in this area. Look at that. We did the right thing, guys. Is he still speaking? Ooh, I want to buy it so bad. I think I need to just eat food. That's what I'm going to do. So you can be like that, huh? Hmm. I think I jumped the gun there on that one because the price might be 24 half or 24. And I mean, of course, there's this huge one down here at 23 half. But the 5 year was telling me to reverse, so I jumped the gun. Mm. And the 30 year, like it's telling me it's gonna flip here. It's just I was way too early. Yeah, this is bad. Okay, that's better. Hmm. Iceberging higher and higher. That's good. Hmm. Trump says China talk's going very well. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. This might be just trying to force people out, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to take it because oh come on. Well, we can just see what happens, I guess. Bad trade. Bad call. Way too fast on the gun there. And look, it's doing it again in 5 year. Hmm. That 24 is stacking up. Hmm.
Lucas says, when will Trump finish his speech, Seth?
Who knows? We're getting this thing where like he'll go to an event and then he'll talk to reporters and then he'll go to another event and talk to reporters. You know? So I'm like, it could be like yesterday. I hope not. Let's see. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Yep. That was me. I'm a fucking idiot, guys. It's not like a buyer's not fighting it here. Look at it in the 5 year, in fact. He's being quite aggressive about it.
Michael XC says, shit, now even Trump is using this phrase. Called him out. I hate that phrase.
You hate that phrase.
Michael XC says, US President Trump, Trudeau is a nice guy. He should be paying 2%. I called him out about it and he wasn't very happy.
might flip without giving us a signal. I really want to buy in here, but I'm already sitting here saying like, well, that wasn't a good trade, Seth. Like, you should be more careful. By the way, what's with Bitcoin? That is a weird move.
Uzi Knesset says mornin' bros.
Hey, good morning, Uzi. So kind of fighting the direction.
Lucas
here.
says hi there.
This is funny because I was watching my video yesterday and I was like, I need to be more,
Michael XC says like someone makes a vid commenting about someone else's video and says, I called him out on that.
I was like,
Michael XC says, well, I mean, it doesn't belong in politics or journalism. It's not professional. Plus, usually it doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
Uzi Knesset says 58-25 downside target on ZB if she goes grinning face with big eyes.
Do you think it'll go? I have a hard time seeing them really push downside targets like that with the ADP news that came out. Nope. They just wanted to stop me out, give me a tick of slippage, move it right back to where I was getting in.
Michael XC says too bad the bot can't speak in order.
Yeah, well, it's
Uzi
because
Knesset says if I thought it'd go, I wouldn't have said if face with tongue.
Went without giving me a signal, but it's giving me a no signal up here at the top. So I sit here and lick my wounds.
Mason Chan says why 58-25 at UZI Knesset.
He said, I don't know where he gets his numbers from, but there's a stack on it.
Uzi Knesset says magic levels winking face.
He's never told us
Lucas
how he
says
gets
at
those.
UZI Knesset I already sold the lows on your signal.
Oh, I didn't realize that 25.5 was the bull bear zone. That's interesting.
Uzi Knesset says they make good levels. Uzi Knesset says kidding. It's just yesterday's naked value area low lol. I've told y'all this before.
Oh, have you? Oh, okay. Yesterday's value area low. CB.
Mason Chan says what the hell is a naked value area?
Oh, you're right. Okay, I will show you, Jason. Mason. So you see my volume profile. The lighter blue area is the value area. Value area low, 158.25.
Lucas says I was wondering the same lol. Uzi Knesset says he'll show ya.
So mad, guys. I took it at 25.5, not 24.5. It feels so unfair, but I have nobody to blame but myself for that one, Anyways, I was watching my video the other day, and I was like, you need to speak more clearly. You need to look into the camera more. You need to not have as much dead space. And then I just sat there in a trade and was like, look at my lazy eye. Not my lazy eye, my lazy eyelid. I look so bored as I'm losing money here. So dumb. I feel so dumb. It's okay. You know what? We could still have some up action. Just gotta be patient.
Michael XC says, hey wait, did you ditch the intro? I don't remember hearing it for a while.
Oh no, it's definitely still in there. No, I definitely did that. You're not getting in at the very beginning of the broadcast. So for that, just remember there's like the live URL in the video description. There's a live URL. Where is it? I will find it for you. This one right here. If you just bookmark that, then you'll always, get in, open that up, it'll start automatically for you.
Speculator Seth says. Michael XC says I'm usually here, just I might be focused on something else.
Yeah, totally. I get it. I try and have everything set up. Like, that's one of the reasons why I really like it, reading the comments out before I respond to them, Michael, is because maybe you're not looking at the screen. And that's another thing.
Says yesterday's VAH at 60.11 was rejected during the overnight. So a break of the overnight low may take us to yesterday's val at 58.25.
But you don't think that it's going to hit, huh? At 23 was a good spot to buy, and I was too busy getting stopped out. So mad at myself for taking that. Holding it. Not for taking it, for holding it.
Uzi Knesset says I dunno if it will or won't, but that's where the levels come from. Lol. Pretty typical shit, grinning face with big eyes.
Yeah. Like, hey Seth, come buy 26 so we can come stop you out again. See, the way that they're playing with the level 2 as well is not very pretty. And I was that one order that got slippage too. I'm so bad. It's so bad.
IQ says Uzi, did you take your opening trade ZB?
So now they're stacking really strong at 26. So are they going to bust up through here and try and push up again, or is it going to turn here? Because when they've been stacking like that as of late, it's been a pretty good reversal sign.
Uzi Knesset says rejected VAH below the IB session is pretty bearish so far, so makes for a bearish bias, but with these markets shit can turn on a dime.
I suppose I could try short. From a risk reward perspective, this is the place to do it. It's not giving me any kind of. I short at 20.
Uzi Knesset says at IQ, yeah. I was short at 20 and bailed at 15. That was all I could take cause I don't trust shit right now, lol.
Well, Uzi, if you got back 15. Yeah, you could have held that for a lot more. You got out of it just before it really took a dive, didn't you? That's funny. Yeah. I think they're messing with us, folks. We've took a little bit away from them the past few days, and they want it back. They want it back. And I'm kind of like, no, I'm just gonna run away until you forget about it. Well, it certainly ain't acting right, is it? So we had a strong stack up there. What is
Michael
ES going to
XC
do?
says,
Man,
so what's S gonna do today?
that's a good question. And by the way, what is the deal with Bitcoin? That is a
Uzi
real
Knesset
run.
says I got burned a few times last week, so I'm being extra careful. Nothing terrible, but I'm still tweaking stuff over here.
I mean, it kind of sounds to me like they're trying to push the "hey, the trade deal might happen" sort of a thing today. Like Donald Trump saw that the markets got burned yesterday, and was like, "okay, I need to be, a little more optimistic when I make my comments today." I think that's the big thing that's going on. But then that ADP news, I feel like, is way more important. Okay, so he stacked it again. And flipped it. Like a bucking bull, it'd be hard to hold. If I had taken the long down there, I would want to be getting out. Even though I think there's a really good chance that they continue higher from here. I mean, like at the very least, I think that we could get back to the 130 area. That would be the targets. That would be kind of the areas I'd be looking for on the upside. Point of control at 130.01 half. Big number at 130 even. But they're playing too many games here. This is just not a... Hold on. Yeah, like that. See, this does not look like positive action for scalping, guys. Why is the market maker messing around with it?
Mason Chan says, anyone here trade full time? Michael XC says, so will the recession hit in 2020 or 2021?
Well, full time is an interesting word. Because we definitely know people that
Michael
is like their
XC
only
says,
job.
I guess you don't know until you're many months in.
That is definitely like their only job, but they're not like working full-time hours, you know what I mean? It's still only trading like the first 3 or 4 hours and then going. Alligator saying those VWAP sellers are still there.
Michael XC says he means make a living from.
Yeah. And the other
Gary
thing
Rich
is
says, lol.
Yeah. The other thing is, Mason, is that a lot of the guys that I do know that do make a living from this, well, like Uzi, for instance, is a good example. He does make a living from it, and he makes pretty good money from it too, from what he's shown us. But he has other sources of income as well. And so that's kind of a thing that I've noticed with this style of trading is that even if you're really good, it really helps to have other sources of income because then the pressure's not on, like if that's like the only way that you get money. And if you don't, if you don't win, you don't eat, that can be really troublesome. So I would approach it from that perspective. If that makes sense.
Gary Rich says, I'm work full time, no time off.
So this guy at 26 is going to hold it.
Michael XC says, or a wife who works is good too.
Yeah, wife who works is good. I think with Uzi's case, his wife owns a business.
That's the same with Ace, isn't it? I don't know what his wife does, though. Did I never switch these over? I didn't. Did I? Huh. Interesting. So that there was some sort of a spreader selling there at 27.5.
Gary Rich says it, you want to do this full time as a job. Suck it up, buttercups. It's not easy. Never has, never will be.
No. You know, I was watching a CME documentary of sorts yesterday. It was a series of news reports. And one of the things that I noticed was that most of those guys that had been successful in it, and some of them were like really successful. Like one of them, they were talking to this gold trader that he was the biggest gold trader in the world, and he had traded the amount of gold that the United States owns 10 times over. That's how much size he was pushing. And all of those people had successful careers in something else before they started trading. So even back then, it was kind of like they had to have had a fairly secure position in life first before they started trading. Thought that was interesting because I thought that a lot of people just started as clerks and then just started trading, and you know, maybe that did happen, but I don't think that was the base case. So you can kind of see how none of the spots are holding. He thinks that the VWAP seller should lose in the end, says Alligator. Well, there's some taking it at 26.5. Okay, so there was a little bit of something. It wasn't super significant. By the way, microphone volume sounds good today, right? I modified it a little bit because when I was watching the video from 2 days ago, it didn't sound. Actually, here, I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys this video. I think I'm going to continue to make some changes to it. But here's the clip. It's a minute long. Watch the probably for me to get in the 7 or 8, which is what I would really like to see. They would have to push through some big stuff, so let's temper our expectations a little. They got through it though, and they took an offer. Oh no, don't do that. They're pulling for the PMI. I don't want to hold through this news. Well, YOLO, I don't know. Okay, here it comes. Boom. Fuck yes. Well, that was like the most foolish
Alex
thing
says,
I've
I'm
done
new
in a
here
long
second
time,
day.
and
Any
I'm
reason
glad
why
that
you
it
only
turned
trade treasuries? Mason Chan says, shocked face.
I can't believe I just did that. That was good shit, wasn't it?
For a second. Hold on. Man.
That was good shit, right? Oh, wait. Here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite part right here.
Uzi Knesset says, fucking nice.
It was fucking nice. It was fucking nice, bro. Hey, Alex. Second day. Well, thank you for coming back. Any reason why you only trade treasuries? Well, The main reason is because that's where I have the best edge, and that's the instrument that I understand the best. I think that there's a lot of opportunity in the E-mini, but there's also a lot more randomness in the E-mini. So I'm a little cautious about the trades that I take over there. That makes sense. And then, other instruments like oil is just way too wild of a buck for me. And, I'm trading on a pretty small account. So, a lot of it has to do with that. I have a video on my channel. It's called Which Futures Product Should You Trade? And I kind of describe how I view the personality of the different markets and why I specifically like ZN. So it's a fun watch. It was intended to be a funny video, and the YouTube algorithm doesn't catch up on it as well, but it's actually one of the better videos that I have on the channel. The one that I'm like the most proud of. Everybody always loves the analogy that I make in that. And while they had a pretty significant downtick there at 26.5, but do you see how it's doing this thing where it's like, okay, here's an edge, we're gonna bust it, but then that doesn't mean that we're gonna go down.
Alex says thanks. I will take a look at it.
No problem. Anyways, so in that video clip that I just showed you, something that bothers me about it is that I mumble too much. I'm just like, Seth, you need to just speak more directly. Not be like all quiet and like afraid of waking the kids up and no. Should say it excited and not, because sometimes I look a little bored. Well, maybe I am a little bored sometimes, and this action is getting kind of, considering the location and everything that else has happened, it's a little slow, isn't it? Everything's just a little fishy and untrustworthy right now. And I really bungled that first trade. That's the other problem. If I had waited and seen it gone through me and then reversing down there, and maybe I could have held that. Oh yeah, another thing. We've come back up here. Like, we touched 28, right? But look at the cumulative delta. Cumulative delta didn't recover at all. So that move down must have been people puking from the ADP. Longs that tried to hold through the ADP and had to give it up. Is Donald Trump speaking again? Rambo Bake has a Christmas time song. He says, he sees when stocks are slipping. He knows when bears awake. He knows that Dow Jones must look good for Trump's electoral sake. And that's what it is, folks. Well, now we're getting into like E-mini time, so it might just be quiet for a while. I'm looking at that ES chart right now, and I'm thinking, I bet you that those bears are going to come out right at the gate again. But then this time they might lose a little bit. Yeah, I don't like the liquidity. They must be interviewing him again. I don't see anything on Twitter. Unnamed sources who are familiar with Jerome Powell's thinking confirmed not QE is in fact QE. I think that's a joke headline.
Uzi Knesset says Sue quiet.
It is. Why? You think that they're going to sell it back down again? They're kind of threatening it, aren't they? That 5 year is like, hey, why don't we take a trip on the downside again? That was fun before, wasn't it? Move down, stop out a couple more retail traders again. Piss Seth off.
Uzi Knesset says the
26?
signs kinda point to it.
Activity is picking up here. $26 pulled. There was some bids. Okay. So when I got filled, they stacked back up. So that kind of suggests to me that that pull was in fact a lure. That does not mean that they're going to tick back up. Okay. So now they down ticked and they stacked 1,000 on it. Okay. Very tepid uptick that time. And the 30-year is kind of not sure if it wants to hold that. Oh, okay. There's a bit of a stack there, 26. For a moment. A bit of a spread robot there. Yeah, it does look like a spread robot. Buying the 5 and selling the 10. Which, if that's the direction of the spread, that's favorable. Okay, so I am seeing an increase in activity in the 5-year. The location is kind of a little bit in the chop area, so that makes the read a little uncertain. And we're losing a tick now, so that's certainly not, yeah. Okay. That was good. Let's just be like extra careful here though. Okay. Hmm. And the stacking is still flaky.
Uzi Knesset says ye. Uzi Knesset says it's like they're trying to jumpstart some buying but it ain't comin'.
Yeah.
Uzi Knesset says yet.
Yet. Well, he kind of made a little bit of a stand there at 25 half, didn't he? But now they're taking it again. But look, the 5-year is still kind of pumping out. So it kind of looks like he's still working it. It just seems like the upticks and downticks are being incredibly unreliable at the moment, though. Yeah, like that. And I noticed that the E-mini ticked up there that time. Let's reset it. You see that? Okay. It's kind of weird. Like when it upticks, it looks really good, but then they're not hitting into 26 and trying to hold that. Okay, that time they find, ooh, now they're going to do 2 at a time.
Gary Rich says just ask yourself 3 questions. Is my setup right, momentum there, and is liquidity behind me? No need to ask or question 50x times wondering.
Yeah, that could be. I just, the more I watch this, the more that I'm like, this is just determined to make me look like a fool no matter what happens. like every little level 2 kind of signal that you can see here on this stuff is not really being reliable. They're tinkering around with it a lot for some reason. Even here with this, now that I've got it set at my price, like things look good, but like they're attacking it again. See? The E-mini's still ticking up. Mixed signals. Yen. Well, the yen is kind of trending up for the most part.
Gary Rich says that why it's a game or I call it a casino.
Yeah. But here in the 5 year, there's definitely some pushing in there. It's curious the way the E-mini's going. So that was probably our trade that we would get from Ace, 104 to 106. Would that have fit? Yeah. But they're kind of like at the top of a range there in the E-mini, so I don't know if they can go much further. And then down tick again. 2 down ticks. Hmm. How long has it been? Almost 10 minutes. Okay.
Michael XC says so, yeah, not quite yesterday's action.
No, it's not. Kind of laughing about how yesterday in Discord we were all, well, if it could do this tomorrow, but maybe with slightly less headline volatility, that would be super nice. Of course not. Yeah, the 5 year is in a crazy chop zone. Hmm.
Michael XC says so, everyone waiting for ISM?
Could be. Well, this has been too long for me. That's 5 year. Okay.
RISITAS says dommage que ce n'est pas en français.
Damage. What is that a verb? I don't pity you. Is that what that means? Let me put it in for direct translation. Too bad it's not. Yeah. Okay, well, they threw me a lifeline there. But you're right. There is two numbers coming up. Maybe we should wait for those. We've got the final services at 9:45 and then a bunch of stuff at 10. So hmm. A bunch of liquidity pulled on that one. I'm just watching this and being like, well, maybe I should go short. Remember when I said at 27, well, you could go short there? Good signal, even though it wasn't. It was a good low. It was a good. I have like activity signals and then I have like trickery signals. It was a good trickery signal. I don't like taking them though when it gets slow like this, you know? Hmm. Well,
Michael XC says Maze we.
oh, you know what? I think when I did that translation, you were saying, too bad it's not in French. That's what you were saying. I gotcha. I gotcha. Hmm. Look at the 5-year there. Trying very hard. Okay. Hmm.
Uzi Knesset says sell Mortimer sell. Grinning squinting face.
This is an area that you could potentially. I'm not seeing like something that really tells me that they're overextended or anything, But you can see that the 30-year, for instance, they're at 12, right? They're trying to turn it here. Just like they tried where we took that long. Now, the problem with this one is that this is probably them shoving it down for the shorts to get out of their positions before the equity open. A trade source tells us that Mexico got the U.S. to drop the intellectual property protections in the biologicals in the USMCA order in order to agree to enforcement that satisfied House Democrats. Biologicals include living vaccines and
RISITAF
medicines.
says the only training and trading on order book in French costs 10,000 euros.
Wow, really? Have you tried reading No BS Day Trading? I don't know how good your English is, but that's not a really complicated read. And that's the way that I would suggest learning.
Michael XC says, for example, about the Bund. Michael XC says, yeah, but you guys have some French language YouTube videos.
Oh, okay. How come it never reads things in order? I don't know.
Michael XC says, search for Bund YouTube videos and you'll find a guy speaking in French.
Okay.
Michael XC says, title probably is in English though.
Crypto suddenly panic bid. Yeah, what is the deal with that? Zero Hedge pointing out that because of the ADP number, the non-farms number on Friday might be really bad. And that was one of my first thoughts was, what's that mean? Well, because remember, like 2 months ago, the non-farms was like crazy bad.
Michael XC says, I mean, it is just showing the guy trading the DOM.
Sure.
Mason Chan says, Zero Hedge always a bear though. Michael XC says, but commenting in French.
You're right, Mason. Totally, you're right. The guy that tweets that stuff out is always a bear. It's telling me to reverse, but time period's bad. Oh, you know what? While I'm thinking about it, I was watching this video the other day, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not showing the time." That's better.
Michael XC says, well, bears are always right eventually.
Bulls are always right eventually too. Anyways, that jobs number 2 times ago was really bad, but and it wasn't necessarily just like a data error either. But the market just kind of brushed it off, didn't they? And then the next month it was okay, and so everybody's like, well, it's just a fluke. But if it starts happening again in December, then people are going to start saying, okay, something is up.
Gary Rich says, you guys crack me up.
Did you see that picture that I posted in the memes channel? Where is it? It was a couple of days back. This one. the technical analysis guy, it's going to go up. And then when it doesn't, they say, oh, it's going to do this. And then when it doesn't, he says, oh, it's going to do this. He thinks it's going to buy no matter what happens. He finds a way to make it look bullish no matter what happens. He just makes more and more complicated lines to try and justify it. So now this iceberg at 23.5. I never saw a stack quite like we did on the upside.
Live Action says for those of you interested, Trader71 has a petition he's walking over to CME today for CL micro contracts, link to sign under today video.
He's going to walk it over there today? How many did we get, by the way? Let me see. Oh, I thought I had it in the description. Here it is. $1,624 have signed. Oh, except for that it always kind of goes up. Let's let it go up so that Change.org has this thing to make it look like that tons of people are signing it. So you have to wait to see what the actual number is. I want to buy
Michael XC says, I don't understand why QM was never popular.
So my understanding is that it's a little different.
Ekareo says, what is the name of that book you said? No BS something?
NoBSDayTrading.com. That is the course that I learned the basics from. It's like $70. Actually, I think it's a little bit more than that. So is QM the same as
Michael
CL, but
XC
just
says 60-day money back.
It's same thing as CL, but just like 1/5
Mason
the
Chan
size?
says, did you take the webinar, Seth?
I never took the webinar, no. It's still big. Like, is CL, the minimum tick is $10. In QM, the minimum tick is $12. So it doesn't actually reduce your risk. It just gives you a more thick product. So it doesn't really substitute as a micro. And the problem is that the oil just moves too far, so it doesn't matter. It would be like saying, hey, trade UB.
Greg Orlovsky says the webinar is where you get to see him break all of his rules.
Is that what happens, Greg? You know what? When I watched, somebody recorded his webinars and gave me a link to it, and I watched a few of them.
Michael XC says sometimes.
And
Michael XC says, but QM can also have a bigger spread.
oh, okay.
Michael XC says because of less liquidity.
Because of less liquidity in QM. That is interesting. Anyways, I watched Greg. I watched one or two of the videos from his webinars, and it was like, oh, He's making some of the same stupid mistakes that I do. It was kind of funny. Like he fought a trend 3 times in a row. So I thought it was kind of interesting. I was like, I think after I had watched that, and of course I didn't watch the whole webinar, but I was like, a lot of he's looking at a lot of the same things that I do, and there's a lot of the same problems, and the problems that I have wouldn't necessarily be solved by doing the webinar. Yeah.
Greg Orlovsky says only the beginner program for 89 is good if you don't understand the DOM Seth. Yep. Michael XC says yeah, but you're counting them as mistakes after the fact.
Well, I was the point was just that he gets caught in the same spots that I do.
Michael XC says you can't always trade and say I have a rule. If I break it, it's a mistake.
Yeah. I think when I took that trade, where was it? 15 half? When did I take that one?
Uzi Knesset says we all make similar mistakes, lol. Greg Orlovsky says whatever, most people suck.
Oh, it was right here. So in retrospect, I don't think it was a terrible trade, but I definitely held on to it too long. That seems to be a problem I'm noticing in myself. I think the biggest problem that I have right now is that when I'm in a losing position, my fight or flight response is to freeze. And then I just watch it go through me. Look at that. That makes me want to buy it so bad. Oh, in fact, I can. Well, can I? Because it's close to the E-mini. I could potentially buy it. I don't want to do it because of the E-mini. Okay, so look, there was the open, and they sold it again on the open. But bulls are fighting back much harder than they have been. Oh, I wanted to see this.
Michael XC says mistakes are more at a bigger level, like revenge trading. That's something you can say, yeah, I definitely screwed up there, as opposed to say waiting too long and getting out 2 ticks less. Michael XC says than you would have if you had gotten out 10 seconds earlier.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I would agree with that.
RZH says sell it.
To have
RZH says sell it.
Made the wrong call on a particular price or how long you hold it or something like that is not necessarily a mistake or breaking a rule. It's just like that could have been more optimized. Whereas when you start over trading it, then you're. Look at that. Don't you wish you were long 24? Now the mini gonna buy a little bit and they're gonna move back down. They're way too attached to the movement in the E-mini though, aren't they? Do not like that. Oh, so Iceberg at 24.5 again, but how many icebergs on this side have we seen? And they just do. You're actually seeing a lot out here. And you're seeing a flip in the 5-year. Might actually go lower. Like I can take that short if I wanted. Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it. It's still iceberging there, 24.5, but look at them take it. Look at them take it. I really think I could short 24.5. I want to let the mini work it out first, though.
Air Cages says hello.
Hey, Air Cages. So what do you think about the big run-up in Bitcoin today?
Mason Chan says recession canceled.
Recession canceled. Kids came back.
Air Cages says my BTC long looking pretty good.
You better not short. You better not try Larry Kudlow. Please tell them all why. Air Cages went long in Bitcoin, huh? Wow. To this point right here. Oh, wait. It came back way far. Whoa. Wow. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of feel like above 8,000 is like it shouldn't be there.
$8,900 for the bounce.
Nice. It was kind of weird action though in Bitcoin in it. Look at the E-mini buying that shit. And look at the treasuries they're dumping. They're like, oh no. So I was said I short 25. Woulda, coulda, shoulda? No, I did the right thing by not taking it. Look at the buy impetus on that one, though. I think that I could probably just buy. I really think I could just come over here and do this. Right there. And you get one like that. No, but should have waited. Should have waited. My bad.
Uzi Knesset says that's trading lol. Live action says
Right.
I closed S at 11.
Shit. Okay, that's a little bit better. Hmm. Now, interestingly enough, treasuries are giving me some reversal signals. That might be really short-lived, though, if it's... Hmm. Just like that, huh? Hmm. It's interesting to watch the E-mini when it pushes a couple of points. Treasuries did reverse there, though. I'm getting too close now to the news, so... Not on today, am I, guys? I guess a lot of my trades in
Live
the
Action
E-mini are
says
kind of
tariff
random
news good
anyways,
except
but...
anonymous sources. Non-farm payrolls bad. Campbell's revenue bad.
Yeah, I don't know. The fundamental picture is like really like screwy right now, isn't it?
Live Action says yes.
It's like you've got this situation where things could be really bad, and the market is perfectly positioned to just not care. Because you had two really bad days in a row anyways, and there's there's good talks about trade war news. Of course, they go right back to my price and don't fill me. Man. Like, I feel like they're specifically going after me. How else am I doing? How else are my entries so bad? Hmm?
Live Action says Beans long was easy.
Hmm.
Cages says amazing trend day yesterday. Did you guys make your year or what?
No, unfortunately, there was so much volatility off of the headlines that I think at least myself, and it looks like a lot of other guys, kind of just sat and watched. Treasury is unable to extend on leg. PMI in 2 minutes. They definitely bounced there. Let's expand this out a bit so we can see. So you can see the buying when they're trying to hit down into 23.5. So the battle lines are set, but now we're going to get PMI might just completely. Well,
Michael
I say.
XC says, well, it would have been enough to make the month for sure. I stopped trading shortly after 8 a.m. NY though.
Yeah, it definitely was. I only made 2 ticks though.
Air Cages says, ironically, those are the days which are most profitable to trade.
Yes and no. I mean, maybe you would have to watch it to know, but it was literally like
Live
the liquidity was
Treasuries
pulling
balanced S
everywhere.
overhead resistance.
The liquidity was pulling everywhere, and it was just a real mess. Because Donald Trump kept talking, and he didn't know what he was going to say. You know, it ended up being a trend day up, but as it was happening, and that was a silly thing, was like, I had a good spot, and then there was pushback, and so I got out. And then after that, the guy that was pushing back got stopped out. And, you know, if I had kept that, then maybe I could have held it, and it could have been, you know, could have been like that. It could have made the whole year, but it didn't happen that way. PMI 51.6 versus 51.6 in line. Yeah, they're selling it. Why it all still pulls? Especially the offers. The liquidity situation today is kind of starting to annoy me.
Lucas says, pretty boring, huh?
And it is Wednesday.
Air Cages says you should set up a spread between S and ZN.
Could do that. And ES and MES. Wonder what the ratio I would need to do that with would be. Or what would be smart. Look at them go. If I thought that it was a sell. Okay. Although I thought it was a sell, is maybe take like 2 or 3 ticks on it though. On the E-mini. Or sorry, on the
Lucas
the
says, remember the
what I'm
trend
talking
Wednesday
about.
days? Markets used to trend really nice.
Right, exactly. I mean, I think that today
Live
would have
Action says we
been
need a Trump tweet right now.
today would have been a day where a lot of people would have made news, if not for the previous 2 days being negative and there being as much news as there is today. So, yeah. Hey, John, how's it going?
Lucas says I remember you would get pretty good trades on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wednesdays are like usually my best days, aren't they? Well, there's my 2 points. It would be really nice if they broke a new high.
Lucas says we could market make some trades here.
I think that my target is reasonable. You know what? You're right. We could probably buy 23 half and 24 and just dump it at 24 half. Oh no, there's a stop run and they were a little short. They might still do it. I don't know about past
Lucas says
31.14
just made
though.
one tick in ZB right there. Uzi Knesset says feel like a distribution at the bottom of ZB consisting of profit taking from yesterday and new longs hoping the trend continues. So we get a mess.
Yeah, exactly.
Lucas says real quick.
And there's just it really looks like that the bigger market makers are really taking advantage of this situation, right? Because there's just been way too many trades that seem, or not, let's not say trades. There's been way too many upticks and downticks that are unreliable, you know? This one, the short up here at 27.5 was probably the best one. And surprisingly enough, I didn't want to take that one because of, well, I don't know why. There wasn't a significant increase in activity. I just saw them do the flip.
Lucas says yes, guys eat alive retail guys on this action.
Yep. It sucks. And then I took another one thinking that I could play it, but that one was a -1.
Uzi Knesset says munchy munchy munch.
Come on. You can do it, Emini. I believe in you. Just, like a few hundred more orders. Come on.
Uzi Knesset says 820 candle made a nice little range containing literally all the action in ZB since then lol.
Yeah.
Uzi Knesset says snoozefest.
Well, interestingly enough, the E-mini is breaking new highs, and the Treasury is being stubborn and staying bid. So I said you could buy 23 half 24 and get off at 24 half, but now 24 half is bid and they're taking 25. What's with that? All right, come on. Give me my fill. Please. Thank you.
Uzi Knesset says I can put a 5 contract bet on ZB right now to make it move the opposite direction. Give y'all some action LMAO.
Right? I tell you what, Matt. I mean, okay, in retrospect, I know that this is all dumb. But when I took it and I bought it here and they went all the way down here
Michael
and then they
XC
did this.
says Seth show up your range indicator.
My range indicator.
Live Action says maybe we go to 17s. Michael XC says asterisk show us.
Do you mean the histogram? Takes a second to pull the histogram up. What do I have to do?
Michael XC says market something.
What type of a range do you want? 30-minute range? 5-minute range? We can load like 365 days. Oh, wait. Do this. Oh, I shouldn't. You know, I screwed up. That needs to go.
Michael XC says Dunno whatever you think is best for a good comparison of today to the average.
Sure.
Air Cages says what does your wife think of you trading? Live Action says ZN really fighting 235.
She doesn't really think a whole lot of it, to be honest. Okay. The range histogram. So are you talking about this?
Lucas says is Trump still speaking? Limit orders are thinner.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, dude. I'm not seeing anything
Michael
on Twitter.
XZ says yes. Uzi Knesset says news at 10ism.
So I took one that was 16 ticks, right?
Lucas says oh thanks.
Took one that was 16 ticks. We're actually now to 24. So again, if they go to just a little bit more, you're talking about a really big thing, you know? It could be just the news at the top of the hour. That's a really early poll for ISM. I don't know.
Air Cages says my wife hates trading lol.
The thing is she's starting to realize that it's kind of a big deal. Like she's starting to realize the emotional toll and the amount of work and stuff. Whereas before, I think she just thought it was one of those stupid computer things.
Live
that he
Action
does.
says 17 coming up SIM reversing here.
So I want to do it like that. Maybe we make it a little bit more generous.
Air Cages says everything changes once you buy a house from profits.
Oh, really? Well, that's probably true. You know what, though? For the most part, this year at least, I've had some really good runs, but for the most part, I'm break even. So, I don't know.
Mason Chan says you speaking from experience at Air Cages?
I think Air Cages got a really good move from Bitcoin. He's been with us almost from the beginning too, and he bought that.
Uzi
he was in on
says
that.
My wife is kind about my trading. She probably thinks I'm insane.
He caught part of that 2017 craze, and he made a ton of money from it, man. Okay. 90 seconds. I'm going to, oh, you know what I can do? I can pull this up. Day overview. I'm going to pull this one up. So we're looking for a reading of 56.6. I believe.
Lucas says you need your family support, I believe, like you're already fighting the market. Imagine fighting your wife about it as well.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I wouldn't sit down and say, hey, if my wife is not like totally
Lucas
into
says
it.
markets are stressful enough already. Gary
Yeah.
Rich says Google article, investors pull back from gig economy startups. I'm laughing hard how Callie jacks it up for others to follow.
The problem is that the only people that are really going to understand it is going to be other traders. Like, your family can only do so much, right? 15 seconds. But they really pulled. Why does it say I'm 100 in the queue? Wow.
Lucas says I could be a nuclear physicist and I wouldn't expect my wife to understand about the job. I would only expect her support. Trading is the same, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Live Action says yes sir, kite both sides.
That was, okay, so we got 53.9. Oh, 51.6. It was a bad number. The market definitely went. It actually broke a new high for the regular session. But they came back awfully quickly, didn't they?
Uzi Knesset says ZB spiked right to the 820 candle open and collapsed back down lol.
Yeah, that was weird.
Gary Rich says if her wife or sig other doesn't approve of your trading, get one who does, lol.
Good luck with that one. Okay, so this is a little weird, isn't it, guys? Am I
Lucas
reading
says
this
crazy
right?
how we are getting bad numbers and still trading within this range.
What is going on?
Michael
53.9.
XC says that's called a mistress.
So it was 53.9 versus an expected 54.5. So that move up was a little bit of an
Uzi
overreaction.
Knesset says now comes the part where they flush weak holders and get back to
Shit.
doing jack shit lol.
Really? Well, the E-mini is turning down a little bit now.
Michael XC says going down.
Why are we being like this, guys?
Michael XZ says or not. Lucas says I am not sure, can't pick a bias today. Uzi Knesset says here she goes. Gary Rich says watch those sucker moves just before the news, lull you in and trap set with no exit door. Uzi Knesset says sell side is easy bias. How much you get is another thing entirely.
This is a little fucky. Something else is going on, because okay, Canada did their interest rate decision too, by the way. Why are they selling it?
Lucas says yep, looks ugly for longs.
It's too much. Well, I got destroyed on that one,
Uzi
man.
Knesset says ZB curious about that 58-25, gonna go probe her lol.
I can't believe. Why is it doing that?
Uzi Knesset says that's why 630 contracts bid hanging out there.
What did the cumulative delta did not even go up through all of that either? What's with that? What am I missing, guys? Maybe I just got suckered into a false move?
Mason Chan says damn Uzi. That's probably your own bid. Face with tongue. Uzi Knesset says nah, I'm a minnow, not a whale lol. Uzi Knesset says grinning squinting face.
Really? He had to insist. He had to insist to keep that bid. And even still. Why?
Uzi Knesset says no revenge trade brother. Disappointed face.
Yeah. I'm confused. I'm really confused, man. And why have they been? Well, they've all been buys, and obviously there's some seller out there. I just don't understand why it's doing this, you know?
Gary Rich says sometimes the cumulative delta can give a false reading.
Al, I don't necessarily care about the cumulative delta just because it didn't move, really. So the real question here is why did they shove it so aggressively down when the number was bad? I do see that Fed Squirrels made comments, but I'm not seeing anything about it.
Lucas says doesn't matter, I believe. Uzi Knesset says because the market is dumb lol.
We will never know.
Lucas says we will never know.
Was there just too many people looking to go long there? Okay. Well.
Live action says RTY above yes high. Lucas says I mean we could know if Ace was here and he asked his CME guy.
Right. That tick up was a little too aggressive, but they didn't stack it or anything. So now I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm still something fishy going on, man.
Gary Rich says don't go into a battle with a knife when you need a machine gun.
When you need a machine gun, that might be true. What? I mean, if it came to if that was the analogy that you wanted to use, Gary, you would need some large bombs to be fighting this battle. You'd need some air support, and these are big fish. This is a big fish, and he was able
Live
to make it
action
go
says
exactly
us
where
having
he
HRD
wanted.
time with 17.
He was able to make it go exactly where he wanted without hardly using any orders. Hmm. What's E-Mini doing here? See what the hell? You see the spread?
Uzi Knesset says now 800 plus at that 25.
Well, there's a spread robot going in here.
Uzi Knesset says he's saying gimme gimme gimme.
You're right, but the E-Mini is kind of turning out. The E-Mini kind of went a little too far, in fact. Because they're at yesterday's overnight open in the E-Mini. Okay. He's stacking it a little too aggressively at 21. In the 5-year.
Mason Chan says are you short Uzi? Uzi Knesset says hey, since you pay attention to the S correlation to ZN, next session, try marking the first print of the equity open on your ZN DOM. Uzi Knesset says at Mason Chan oh no I've been done
Okay.
for the day.
Well, what the hell? Really? Really? I feel really like, why is it fighting it so hard? Why am I fighting it so hard? Expanded less than expected in November. I don't understand.
Uzi Knesset says it's speculator Seth. I've been marking the 820 print and the 930 print on my ZB DOM and it really helps keep me in line with a daily bias.
Okay. Was there really a bias today, though? We've broken both sides of it, right? I guess from the overnight we are down, but jeez.
Live Action says I am with you on ZN Tough One.
This is that same problem.
Uzi Knesset says yeah, sell side for the session. The session legit only ticked up one tick from that first print. Been down ever since. Even on the news spike, that level still held.
Really? Well, when I look at it from the open,
Live Action says I am adding one.
I don't know, man.
Uzi Knesset says I'm talking ZB here but I know it'll be similar in ZN. Uzi Knesset says let me change to ZN chart real quick.
All right.
Greg Orlovsky says ES, unstable, having a hard time getting out of my scalps.
Well, I see a signal on the 5-year again. A little bit of a suspicious stack at 19.5.
Uzi Knesset says yeah, at 820 ZN tick 29, 260, kiss 29, 265 and has been down ever since.
Hmm. It's just I feel like that last bit of news going a tick higher than the ADP news should have been a significant thing. You know,
Lucas says I didn't realize of this.
it seems to me that there was just way too many people
Lucas
bought
says
into
we'll pay
it.
more attention to this Uzi.
I think there's too many guys out there like me looking to buy it, and so we had to get dumped. That's what I think happened. So now you kind of got this situation. Treasuries went quite a bit lower. Now you're in a retracement of the yesterday's move. I suppose that the prices that we're seeing down here aren't unreasonable.
Uzi Knesset says treat the session as the only price action that matters. Yeah, you can most definitely be wrong and get a buy on a low like you're trying to do and have the day reverse, but I'd rather be wrong once. Uzi Knesset says than 5 times, ya know?
Well, the signal is saying go long, though. That's the thing. So now we're having a trend day down, and the signal's being wrong every time. Why? When it's so fundamentally different from the...
Lucas says because markets heard me when I said remember trend Wednesday days.
Right.
Michael XC says think of it more as advice than a signal. Uzi Knesset says lol.
Well, I'm just too fucking stubborn, guys.
Uzi Knesset says the answer is simple. The market hates us, person shrugging.
You know me. See, as soon as I start trying to take it short, is going to be when they start buying it. This stack again in 19. Well, that's been happening.
Uzi Knesset says it's really hard to fight the buy low sell high mentality even when you're fighting a trend, so I get it. It's the great conflict for us all, really. Live Action says there's a very small volume node yesterday ZN it's reacting to could get ugly when it breaks.
But you know me, I like to take it in the direction that it's going, right? It's just when the direction that it's going is wrong. And you just know that as soon as I start selling it, that they're gonna start flipping it.
Lucas says what do you mean wrong?
I mean, they should have moved up. There's this move down is not justified based on fundamentals.
Michael XC says but it's already gone almost 10 points in that direction.
Yeah. In fact, we are getting very close
Uzi
to where
Knesset
it
says
has
2 more
almost
handles
has
to
to
25.
reverse. We're getting to almost where it has to reverse.
Live Action says ZF leading lower. Mason Chan says if it's one thing I've learned, fundamentals don't matter.
Yeah. Okay, well, there are so Uzi's target is certainly a thing, but there's single prints all the way to 12 half.
Lucas says 0850 at 25. Lucas says that's it, you're the whale Uzi. Mason Chan says Uzi Urkel was so on point.
Yeah, it was. From the whole day, like he said that first thing. I mean, like I'm thinking of it like, okay, what is the bull case here for people in equities? Or, the risk on case for people over here? Well, we just had bad manufacturing news. So there has to be something else out there that they think matters more than that bad manufacturing news. That there's going to be a trade deal? Yeah, okay.
Uzi
It's just that
Knesset
sort
says
of a
nothing
thing.
special, bros. You all have the same info I do. I could
Yeah.
just as easily have been wrong, but the shit's reliable enough for me.
Well, they touched it. They didn't clear it. And they're bouncing.
Live Action says at Lucas they do, but you can go broke waiting for them to play out.
JPY really, really came down. British pound really moving up. Euro really moving up. So this is a currency driven move.
Lucas says I don't understand, what did I say? Uzi Knesset says it's a lot to clear. Given the correlations, good place to close at ZN short. Uzi Knesset says just to be safe and all.
I'm just thinking, like, at what point was buying it no longer makes
Uzi
sense?
Knesset says we tested both sides of yesterday's value now. The top side capped price, maybe the bottom side, at 25, will hold now.
Yeah. Well, I think. Yeah. It's not giving me one, though. That might be a no signal. No,
Live
that's
Action
stack
says at
18
Lucas we
half.
were joking about fundamentals not working.
The way that it bounced off of 25 is certainly curious, but I mean, look at how much is sitting there at 18. And they didn't overextend to do it either. It looks like that somebody made a currency move. See that?
Uzi Knesset says 780 plus contracts on the bid may be the kind of volume that'll only pull or get filled on a surprise.
Mm-hmm. I
Lucas
mean,
says only you know Uzi.
the E-mini is giving me a potential sell signal here. That's really curious. Of course. Haha, we got him again.
Lucas says I am pretty sure you could have a lot of followers on Twitter if you just tweet your signals hee.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Well, that uptick made me feel a little better.
Uzi Knesset says nah, I just happened to be spot on today. It's nice when that happens but I'm not any more of a signal provider than anyone else lol.
You always get levels that are like going to appear to work, you know? Like that's the thing is if a particular price trades, does that necessarily mean that it was like a really key level? Not necessarily. But for it to come down to that level and bounce off of it exactly and for you to call it that early, there was definitely the price today. I think the problem with levels is that, the ones that they use, it changes all the time, Okay, so this is
Uzi
actually a little
Knesset says think about
suspicious.
it, we're all looking at the same shit just interpreting it differently.
Mm, or rather, you think different things matter more, right? I think that the economic number being bad matters more.
Kevin Cambo says hello everybody short MES at 3114 looking for 15 points pray for me.
Really?
Lucas says I am not saying it worked because it bounced, I am saying it worked because it reacted to that level.
Yeah,
Even if it stopped there, traded some size and kept going down.
exactly. Well, they gave us a signal there, but it didn't. It's not going.
Live Action says lol right argument for either side.
Interesting that that 30-year bounced and these ones didn't. Stacking and pulling on the ask at 18
Uzi
half.
Knesset says it's all just reference points. They could get hit, they could not. They could hold, they could not. It's all about building a picture in your head from the pieces you got in front of you. Uzi Knesset says and finding the right place to get in with minimal pain lol.
Look at that. I just feel dumb. Not, like I dug myself a hole like a week or two ago. We dug ourselves out of that hole. And then today we kind of dug that hole again. This is really
Lucas
what
says
happened.
don't be
man.
mad Seth, it's just the market doing its thing.
And
Live Action says I am G ping for scratch on this ZN short hoping for full gap fill.
and I myself just, really tilted,
Uzi Knesset says I think I'm pretty good at painting a picture for the day but just like anyone else in our positions, it's a pain in the ass to find the right spot to participate.
Mm-hmm.
Live Action says today is not easy.
My problem is just I don't really have a good way of knowing when I'm wrong. I'll continue to watch it and say they're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong. This spot
Michael
that they
XC says
17
it's
half.
pretty amazing how little in commissions you have to pay compared to profit when trading treasuries.
I mean, when you take all of these and then you add the commissions into it, it's real. It really sucks, man. I shouldn't have told that rubbing my eye is what causes my eyelid to droop. But it just like it just well, interestingly enough, there's still a lot of volume trading around here.
Michael XC says it's way less than compared to equities. Lucas says you can designate someone in the room and if that person says stop placing trades you comply.
Yeah. If any of you guys say that, I would think about it. You know, Phil. Don't feel
Michael XC says because you're gonna do more trades in indices futures.
yeah. You're not gonna
Michael
make me mad or
XC
anything.
says I meant indices futures, not equity.
Yeah. I mean, then that makes
Kevin
sense.
Cambo says I feel your pain 3 days in and only one successful trade.
Really, Kevin?
Live Action says at Michael XC especially on the 30-year you can scratch a bunch and make one tick and still see profit.
Well, I did make a 1 ticker on a buy. But this is just really weird, to be honest. I think now that the move is done, it looks to me like that the order flow signal is no good because it's moving from the currency. This is what it looks like to me. But the question remains, why did the currency sell so hard on that? Makes no sense. Somebody really thinks that the trade deal is going to happen? Is that what it is? I don't know. But what I do see is too many people putting orders down in here, and it should flip. And it's done it. Look at how many places. Here. The 5-year is saying that it's going to flip higher. And the
Live
30
Action
year
says
is
Seth
saying,
you were right on that last short so far.
yeah.
Kevin Cambo says grab back losses and up 1% that sucks when your aim is 10%.
Well, I got the 2 ticks and I got out at a good spot. It's funny that I did do a short here and got out of it. Star Wars fans will have to wait until next year for Baby Yoda dolls. That's interesting. Well, I have a meme for this whole situation.
Uzi Knesset says oh god fuck Baby Yoda for real lol.
I love Baby Yoda. What do you have against Baby
Lucas
Yoda?
says lol. Michael XC says Yoda figurines were tiny enough, I had one back in the day.
Okay. One more tick down. Does it
Live
again.
Action says when you have the bottom to bounce off far away are the possible best trades.
Watch the 5-year and the trades here. This is not like a one-way flow. In fact, look at the cumulative delta. It's flat. Well, that was one of the more encouraging upticks.
Gary Rich says I enjoy all the what ifs you all say, it like blowing smoke up a elephant's ass. Lol. Live Action says yes you're right Seth missed that I am a chartist first order flow second. Uzi Knesset says what if.
Yeah. Well, what I try to do is I'm looking at every little tick, and trying to say, okay, so what are the positions people are taking? What are things that people are trying to do here? Right? Somebody's going along here. But somebody went along
Lucas
here,
says
here,
you
here,
shouldn't
here,
smoke
here,
in the
here.
first place.
So, the kind of the what if is, well, so what if somebody's going along here? Okay. What is he trying to do? Probably trying to get 4 ticks at least off of this retracing. So somebody's going short too. What are they doing? They're just writing the currency correlation, probably. So the question remains,
Uzi Knesset says light cigarette.
Why did the banks come in and oh my gosh. I took that trade long, like way too I was a little way too cavalier with that.
Lucas says sips whiskey.
I can see the 5-year now appears to be in a chop zone.
Aben Nisik says goes on long run.
Why did I do that, guys?
Uzi Knesset says damn dogs bothering me to go out BRB.
Okay, now the 5-year is giving a trickery flip.
Gary Rich says when are you going to learn? When you see liquidity behind something you go with it.
Yeah.
Uzi Knesset says there's the juice at 25.
He got filled, but something's going on. The E-mini had a couple of little sweeps.
Live Action says I smoked for almost 50 years. Problem when you damage lung cells, lubricating cells never come back and lung repair stage can get worse.
Trump says we'll discuss trade with Italy's Conti.
Smash the Bid says good morning you gamblers.
Yeah, Smash. You know what? I'm bad and I should feel bad.
Lucas says hi Smash. Aben Nisik says at Live Action wow, we have only heard that since like forever. Sorry bro.
See, he's keeping an eye on me and he's like, Seth, what the fuck are you doing, man? But I'm super tilted. I don't understand why they sold it. I understand why the signal wasn't working, but I don't understand why.
Lucas says you always come when Seth is struggling.
Yeah, it's true. I've had a lot of ups and downs this past month, though.
Live Action says at Aben Nisik I wish I did a long time ago.
They're selling the E-mini. Like at the market buying, the market orders in the E-mini are selling. I don't know the way that it's been trading. That could totally not matter, but it's just really interesting that through this whole spot they sold it. I mean, that's like the past hour, and it's just kind of lackadaisically going sideways.
Aben Nisik says at live action the human body is pretty good at fixing things. However, you will probably outlive lots of folks who don't smoke. Gary Rich says it's obvious you were never trained in speed trading fast markets. When it bounces off levels you follow it, not resist it. Smash the Bid says lol, I haven't watched in a while. I'm not here to judge.
Well, let me tell you what's been going on, Smash the Bid. You're right, Lucas. He has been one of the people that, like, when I'm doing bad, he comes around, but it's not like he doesn't like me. And
Live action says my saving grace is weightlifting my whole life.
And I like the Smash the Bid, and he's given us good advice in the past. So let me tell you what I've been doing. On Monday, I took a trade.
Uzi Knesset says he smashes back lol.
Yeah, I took a trade on Monday. It was a good signal. But there was quite a bit of pushback on it, and I was down 2 ticks, and then the news was coming, and I didn't know what to do, and I was like, well, it's 2 ticks, so I just held it through the news, which was really dumb, but it worked out, and I made a ton off of it. And then, when they're buying the treasuries, I tend to do well, and I made a lot. So I've just been buying, and then today I bought up on the 10 o'clock news, and they came right back on me, and then they started doing this. Only 7 likes because I haven't asked you guys to like it yet. I always thought asking, mentioning the likes would not be a big deal, but actually it matters. So if you guys could, even though I did really bad today, hit that like button. It helps. Got to keep it up. Keep the channel going, and this is always a work in progress. And when I do bad, that's just more lessons learned, and eventually, someday, 50 years from now, I will have finally figured out trading, and I will make, $50 in the market, and then I will leave. Anyways, so I'm really pissed about this move coming down from like 25. And I don't understand, like, why is it going down? Why is it going down? And the signal keeps telling me to go long, and then we're moving down because of the Japanese yen, so the signal doesn't matter. That's what's been going on. So I'm a little tilty at the moment. Well, look at that. The E-mini is buying again. This long that I took at 18.5, I didn't know what I was doing there. I was like, well, if we buy here, I wasn't taking a signal or anything. I'm getting a no signal here, though. I'm definitely getting a no signal here. Not going, oh, you know what? My thing just stopped going, so you're probably saying a bunch of stuff, and I'm not even listening. I'm sorry. My saving grace is weightlifting my whole life. I do weightlifting too. Wacky Wednesday. Is that what we should call it? Wacky Wednesday. That's what we're going to call it. See that? So now that I had a no signal, now I'm getting the reversal in the 5-year again. This time, though, it's unclear which way it's going. I think that it's a reversal higher, but we're in a little bit of a chop, so it's unclear. Philip Morris is my favorite dividend stock. Wait, where are you? Oh, because you guys were talking about smoking. You know what? People in the financial industry smoke a lot. It's stressful. I've never smoked, so I don't know what that feels like, but I bet it helps. Big old iceberg at 17.5. More fuel on the fire. That to me is, this isn't working. Didn't start smoking until I was 23 in the military. Never thought I'd touch it. Well, I don't know why I'm like, it's kind of weird to me that I'm thinking a lot of things and normally I would say them out loud and I'm not. So the thing that I'm thinking right now is, well, it's not like that this little move down is crazy considering that we're still in yesterday's range and that we had such a crazy trend day yesterday. And it's totally possible that more bad trade headlines come out overnight and that tomorrow we're buying like crazy again. You know, it's just, why did I lose so much? I got so tilted when it doesn't go my way. I should have stopped right here. It's almost like after that point, I stopped caring about how much it is. Look at that. Tomorrow is always another day as long as there's still a horse you can get back on it. Yeah. I just want to, I feel like I'm doing this, dude. This was, well, you know what? There's a better way to do this. Hold on. I have to put myself out there. Yeah. Fucking sucks. Shit. Why? Okay. Yeah. Nah, I think it can go more than that. I can go further back than that. Yeah. That's right. And what about going back to, where was the, I need to find where the bad was. Okay. So, oh, no. So even further back than that. Maybe we need to go back to October. Yes. Okay. October 23. Prison stocks? I never thought of that. I will have a look. Okay. Here's my performance, man. Tilt. Build it back. Tilt. Build it back. Tilt. Build it back. Tilt. What's wrong with me? Why am I doing this? It's like it only works when I'm going long as part of it. Why did I buy on that last one? I'm just so weird. I think that I kind of like was kind of only joking when I was clicked that one, and then all of a sudden it was in it. And I tried to stay in it, you know, because really could sell that. There we go. Okay. Oh, I don't have this where you guys could see it. That's been my performance past like 2 months. So it's like, and this spot right up here is like an even number on my account. So it's like I can't get above that. Every time that I get up that, it's like I come in and sabotage myself or something. What the hell? That time the 5-year went too far. Three things that work in a recession: cigarette, liquor, movie sales. Oh, really? Well, I say Disney looks like a really good a stock that you can play both ways right now. JB says it's time to learn a new method. Well, I think it's time to change some things, yeah. But I'm not sure what I should be changing. I think that it's not the method is not the biggest problem, you know? It's just like this whole thing. How am I to know after this to sell it? I don't, oh man. Like this area right here. It was like 25, wasn't it? No. 24. It was right here. No. Then spike, see? Spike. Oh, that one actually might have been a reversal higher, but this is now definitely telling me that it's going to turn. Like, it's giving me a really, really big turn one now. Taking so many minus 1 or 2 ticks on so many good trades. Well, in this situation, we can say there were certain things about my read on like the profile that was wrong, right? Or that, let's not use the word wrong, but there was this move overnight, and then there was this move yesterday. Lower, lower, lower. That seems to be giving them the, you know, what's allowing them to say, all right, we could sell this all the way back to here, probably. If not back to here. And I was ignoring a bias because we are below the opening range high, right? Opening range was here. So below this, I should be selling. Look, it is reversing. Your failure to test the prior high was your clue to look to the short side, the second circle you drew. This one. Yeah, and my thinking at the time was here was one piece of news, and here was one piece of news. I thought that they were going to do this. If you notice, that's almost a 50% retracement. Well, I don't know if I would consider a 50% retracement a TA. You know what? When you have symmetrical moves like that, that totally fits into the way that the order flow works too, right? Because that means 50% of the traders lost, and 50% of the traders have to take profits. As they take profits, it comes back. Yeah, did you catch any of that short, John? And if so, at what point did you start doing it? Because I think the reason why Uzi was kind of being a little bit, yeah, but I kind of got lucky and this and that is because I don't think he actually took it off of any of that. It really looks like it's going to reverse here, man. It's like I'm going to go and then it's going to go up and do what I wanted it. Anyways, I took my trade off at the open. I just didn't carry it the whole way, nowhere near. Yeah, see. I don't know, man. And I didn't take many trades yesterday when that could have been a great day for me. I'm not sure what to do. Days like this may really make you want to give up on it. Especially to see this happening to me over and over again. Is like, I've been trading the MES trying to get over my fear of trading the ES. It's a fear I've held onto for 8 years. Well, I did catch one in the ES today. I caught a little bit of that long. They're building the liquidity up. I don't know. I can't take any more trades. I wish I could just continue revenge trading, guys. But no. It makes me so mad. I just I still go back to this whole thing where it's like I'm not you talk about luck like it's a bad thing given the fact that we can't anticipate the next set of orders. Technically it's all luck, yeah. But I'm still in a back and forth between is it the strategy or is it just me? Okay, well, the way that I've been taking it is when I get a spike, I tend to reverse unless we're trending. Then I try and look for the quiet spots. I told you the story of blowing out my 10K account twice trying to learn how to trade the ES. No, I don't remember you talking about that actually. Man, that sounds ugly though. But this is the problem with the strategy is when it is trending, you have to go with them. And I seem to have trouble seeing when that is the case. That's why I swore I would never trade the ES. Yeah, 10 years ago. He's a sage now. I just and it's kind of like, so should we just completely throw this signal out and look for a different one? And we could just trade the micro more. $20 a day. Need to get on to kind of figure out how to figure out which way it's going to go in the E-mini. Look at your stats, it's clearly not working. Well, yeah, during that time period, it's clearly not. Where did I move that? Let's look at the actual stats. Where do I see it? How do you make show stats? Ugh. Really? Why is that? I'm taking lots of tiny little losers. But the thing that's so it works most of the time. That's where it's like, and then you get this. Hard to say how long you gotta try something before you give up on it, don't you think? Yeah, well, I've been doing this one since August. I mean, that's the one that's really weird, is that like, so let's just show you the whole year, shall we? Talk about our journey this year. It's getting, I need to go here though. So we can talk tomorrow. I think I'll still continue to trade this tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, I tend to do okay through the beginning of the year, and I tend to do poorly during the summer. So during this period, I was actually trading mostly sim. And then this around here was when I developed this new method. So I developed this new method, and then I had a really bad tilt day. And then we had all this, and then tilts. But do you see how it's like, on a gross basis it works, but on a net basis it doesn't? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me start over. So here's the beginning of the year. I tend to do well during this time period. This kind of sucked, but this was then all of a sudden I was like, I bombed. I really bombed. Stopped working. Usually stops working during the summer. Okay. Developed a new method to try and figure out how to trade during more rangy time periods. Works. And I think I started trading it here. Okay. It worked really, really well. And then all of a sudden, bad day. Bad day. And then this sideways. Okay. So if we were to look at the whole thing, I'm going to say starting from 9/3, because I know it was in September. I didn't do it in August. So, okay. So when you look at it from that perspective, it kind of works. You see Elite Trader Dom live. How can you follow order flow in such volatility? You can sum up, but you need to initiate ahead of it. It says live action. Okay. Anyways, so I'm always looking at this and I'm like, okay, that day shouldn't have happened. This day shouldn't have happened. This day shouldn't have happened. If I had done all of those things, hey, maybe I could be up here, you know? So why am I not? Why do I let that happen? Well, and that's where I come in and I say it's me. It's me being unable to deal with the time periods when it doesn't work. So I probably need another filter. Probably, that's certainly something that you guys can help with. But, oh, there's Ace. I'm talking about Rose Arch darts. Anyways, I don't know what to do. Might have misread that one. Trading German and European Open is often good with treasuries. No, I really want to get this instrument, Well, this or the E-mini are my choices, but mostly the 10-year because of the time period. That's what makes the most sense. So we're going to figure it out. It's not like the signal that we have is awful. Sounds like you're down a little bit. We can fix this. You're a good trader. You got this. Yeah. Thanks, Hayes. Well, I did take an E-mini trade today, and I was able to make some money on it. I made $15 on the E-mini today. But, and yeah, we can definitely fix it, especially if they continue to get ugly. But I really want to fix my strategy in the 10-year, and I really want to fix my, I agree Seth is on the cusp. Well, thanks. Yeah, I don't know. Lift Seth's attitude, he sounds dejected. I'm mad at myself, man. I don't know. Let me know. I'll ask the question, and you guys come back on the video and comment. Is my strategy, do I need to adjust my strategy, or is it me? Do we need to adjust me? And if it's me, then how can I fix that? So, it is now 9:13, so it is time for me to go. Thank you guys for everything. You can go ahead and hit that like button, even though it was a bad day. And it's not the end of the world. It's just, we're basically just back to where we were at the beginning of the month. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay profitable.